Disclaimer: this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute financial advice. We are not registered financial advisors. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now, I know I didn't do a Fun Day Monday strategy update last on Monday, and that's because I actually wasn't home. My wife and I decided to take a few days off. We went to another community in Panama, not too far from Coronado, called Buenaventura. So we stayed at a hotel there for a few nights and just really took it easy. It was great. Luckily, there was no Bitcoin buys on Monday, so there was actually nothing to report. But the big news is that the Q1 results for 2026 came out, and I'm actually going through it. I'm catching up on all my stuff now. I'm going through. So I didn't finish it. I skimmed through a lot of it, especially the beginning with the chief financial officer. But I did listen to Michael Saylor's portion and Fong Li's portion. Fong Li's the CEO. He's right here, by the way. And I'm watching the Q&A at the end. Yeah, just to keep you up to date. So they didn't buy any Bitcoin last week, but in an X, Saylor said, literally warned that Sunday, the Sunday before, no buys this week, but back to work next week. Next week meaning this week. So I'm assuming there's going to be a buy that's going to be announced on Monday. Stretch did not hit $100 yet. I'm filming this on the 7th of May. It's very, very close, 97. So we'll see how they do it. I'm assuming it's going to be with the MSTR common share. So by the way, just on a side note, I just bought another 2,500 of MSTE. I'll have a early portfolio update video. It's almost today's dividend day and tomorrow's the rest of the dividend days. So I'll probably do a members only early preview portfolio that I usually do every single month to advise you guys, the members, the paid members. And by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to hit that little join button, become a member. So I always do an early portfolio unveil video for the members near the beginning of the month after I reinvest my distribution. So stay tuned for that next week. But I want to talk a little bit about the Q1 results. So like I said, I'm watching and I'm going through it quickly. So I'll tell you my impressions here because you might have seen some headlines. Some negative headlines, I guess. MSTR might sell Bitcoin or will be selling Bitcoin, things like that. So it seems odd. It seems negative. But if I highly recommend everyone, I'll put the link to this, or you could just find it. It's the Strategy MSTR Q1 2026 earnings call by Bitcoin Magazine. You could just watch the whole thing. If you hold MSTR in a certain way, whether it's MSTE, MSII, MSTR, whatever, what I highly recommend. Okay, if you're holding this company alone, individually, like I am, it's my only single stock position. I highly recommend you watch these earnings because I feel like the presentation was really, really good. It really does a deep dive and explains what's going on. And my takeaways is that the first takeaway, which is for me is the most important thing, is that the ultimate goal, and Fong Li must have said ultimate goal so many times, is to increase Bitcoin per share for the MSTR shareholders. In case you don't know what that means, I've talked about this all the time. That's what I want to see as an MSTR common shareholder via MST, of course, but MST literally holds MSTR. It's to increase the Bitcoin exposure, the Bitcoin per share. That is their fundamental ultimate metric on how they're evaluating their performance. It's this right here. They actually added it in their dashboard. So this is Bitcoin per share, BPS. This is the most important thing for the MSTR shareholders. How much Bitcoin is there inside each one of MSTR common shares, right? For every MSTR share, one share, which is now $179 right now, as I'm filming this, how much Bitcoin is there per share? And they want to increase. The whole objective of MSTR is to increase that over time. That's where you get the amplified Bitcoin exposure, right? If you buy $1 worth of Bitcoin, you have $1 worth of Bitcoin. If you buy $1 versus of MSTR, you're not getting more Bitcoin unless you're not, if for the Bitcoin, the people who buy the Bitcoin instead of MSTR, you're not getting any more Bitcoin. You have whatever amount of Bitcoin. But for MSTR shareholders, you're actually getting more Bitcoin exposure without even buying more MSTR shares, because their Bitcoin per share, how much Bitcoin exposure in each MSTR share, is actually going up over time. And you could see that with this tracker right here. This is quarter to quarter. You actually see that the amount of Bitcoin per share is going up, per MSTR shares going up over time, year over year. That is the ultimate objective. So they talk a lot about that in the presentation, which is a great thing. There also, another word that stands out to me while I watch the presentation, is options. So they are discussing, Fong Li and especially Michael Saylor are discussing many more options on the table to increase Bitcoin per share in a more efficient way. They're getting more and more options to do that. I highly recommend, again, you watch the whole thing, especially Fong Li's part and Michael Saylor's part. They go through the options and how they could do that, including one option includes selling Bitcoin at some point, selling Bitcoin to buy, for example, they showed all kinds of different examples, all kinds of cool charts, and how it could be accretive, because you think selling Bitcoin is not accretive, but it could be valuable long term for the MSTR shareholders. A couple of examples that I wrote down here. If, for example, MSTR stock is super discounted, they have the option of selling Bitcoin to buy back their MSTR stock. That's an example. Sell Stretch to buy, when they sell the Stretch, instead of buying Bitcoin, they could buy back their MSTR stock if it's trading at a discount. For example, sell some Bitcoin, which gives tax credits, sell some Bitcoin where, for example, that they have a higher average cost base, realize some losses, get tax credits. So the whole presentation is really centered, I feel, this quarter. I really like what I'm hearing. Just the number of options growing to enhance the ultimate goal, which is Bitcoin per share over time. So don't be fooled by the headlines, which are typically always negative for strategy. They might sell Bitcoin. Saylor changes his tune. I can already see the stupid headlines. If you watch the quarterly results, they explain it in detail. I mean, these are not stupid people. These are smart guys. These are all MIT graduates. I feel like this is still kind of a technology company. I mean, these guys are engineers, but it's like financial engineering now. It's very, very interesting. It's very fun, very cool. If you're a nerd like me, kind of, I highly recommend you watch the results and the options that they're talking about. But very important for me, what I always want to see and hear is that increasing Bitcoin per share still remains the ultimate goal, and they've been delivering that on that quarter over quarter. So they're getting more and more options. They're talking about selling some Bitcoin to fund the USD cash reserve, and they're talking about, of course, increasing the credit worthiness of the company, which means its stretches becomes more attractive and the risk rating gets lower, and they could just attract more capital. The whole concept of this company is, how could we tap into the capital markets in the most efficient way to increase Bitcoin per share for our MSTR shareholders. That's it. That's the mission of the company. And how can they do that with the most accretion and the less dilution? Right, that is basically it. And a couple of key slides. I mean, I didn't really mark down the time, the slides here, the time frames. But when the MNAV is more than 1.22, like it is now, it's actually starts becoming good to issue MSTR common stock to buy more Bitcoin. Past, obviously, the higher this is, the more better it is, the more accretive it is. So there's a lot of metrics that they discuss when the MNAV is 1.5, if the MNAV is 2 or 2.5, obviously the higher it goes, the better it is. But if for some reason, if the market is behaving irrational, like Michael Saylor says, and this is under 1, it's trading at a discount, well, it's actually worth it for them to sell some Bitcoin and buy MSTR stock back. So there's all kinds of cool ways and options that are opening up to the team, who they say, they're looking at this every day. to come up with better strategies, better options to turn this more in a bigger and faster Bitcoin accumulation machine, even if that entails selling some once in a while. It just accelerates everything and accelerates Bitcoin per share. So those are the notes I really took. I mean, there's some stuff I don't really care about, like the analyst price targets. I never care about that, but they're all a lot higher than what they are now. In case you care about that, I personally don't. But I really like it that these are IT. You could really tell this is an IT company. I come from an IT background. They think like IT people. Always want to improve, always want to try to figure out a new and improve. That's what IT industry is all about. It's how to how to make things better. How do you leverage technology to make things better? They are obviously leveraging their knowledge on the financial markets. They have, they run a technology company as well, but now it's mostly about Bitcoin. So they're always trying to figure out how to get more innovative to just be more efficient, which I really like. In the end, the goal, which they keep reiterating, which I like, is to increase Bitcoin per share for the MSTR common shareholders, which means that, for example, if this number just keeps going up, even if you're not buying more MSTR, you're getting more Bitcoin exposure. Unlike when you buy Bitcoin, unless you buy more Bitcoin, you're not getting more Bitcoin exposure. You got to wait for the price to go up. But whether the price of Bitcoin goes up or down, if the amount of Bitcoin per share is going up, you're getting more Bitcoin exposure. This is why, if this remains, this is the most important thing for me. If this remains their core objective and they keep delivering on that, and they want to do they're looking at increasing this 10% a year on average, and they're showing all kinds of scenarios. We could do 12% if we do this, or maybe 13% if we do this. If that keeps happening, I'm very, very happy, and I'll be very glad with my decision to swap my Bitcoin for MSTR, including always making sure this as well. I always want to see, since they became a Bitcoin treasury company in 2020, what would worry me is if MSTR would start underperforming Bitcoin, if Bitcoin would be performing better than MSTR. It's not the case now. So those are the two things I look at: increasing Bitcoin per share, and I always want to see MSTR outperforming Bitcoin since they became the treasury company. And obviously, as you could see with this graph, the only thing they're not beating is Nvidia. But I believe if Bitcoin starts shooting up again, it might beat Nvidia again. So we'll see what happens. So far, it's going pretty good. So, I mean, that's pretty much it, everyone. Like the video, give me a thumbs up. I'd really, really appreciate it. And back to normal. Hopefully Monday there's going to be a buy. I'll do a video. You guys seem to enjoy those quick videos, quick updates. And yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, any comments, let me know in the comments, guys. Personally, I really, really like what I'm hearing. To me, it's getting every quarterly update, I get less and less excited, obviously, because I really understand the vision of the company here. And I'm still going to keep going. As long as those two factors stay the same, I will keep going and invest about $2,000 a week in MSTE forever, as long as I can, because I believe in Bitcoin, and I believe that MSTR is simply an amplified Bitcoin exposure. A lot more volatility if it crashes, for sure, but I think eventually over time they're just going to get better and better and better at increasing Bitcoin per share, which means boom, amplification. This is a 5, 10, infinity years long-term investment for me anyway. So let me know how you're taking the quarterly one results. Did you watch them? Did you not watch them? I highly encourage you do. Just search for it. Very, very easy to find. You don't have to watch the whole thing. And by the way, you could speed up the speed. I always watch things at a 1.2x speed now. But the most important parts to watch is, I'm not finished the Q&A. The Q&A is not that interesting yet. But for me, the most interesting part is Fong Lee's part and Michael Saylor's part, where they really go over the objectives, reiterate the objectives, and all the additional options that they're getting. So take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay passive, stay honorable, and see you next time.